An understanding of the primordial origin gradually began to emerge within Wang Lin as he was enveloped by the light. This was not a legacy, but rather the complete presentation of the primordial origin before Wang Lin. How much he could perceive and understand had nothing to do with the Donglin pool. The key depended entirely on the individual. Some people, perhaps on their first encounter, could see that beam of light and gain some insight. After leaving the Donglin pool, they might already carry within them the seed of the primordial origin. Others, like Wang Lin before, might gain nothing but a slight increase in their own origin. But there were also those who, perhaps during just 2 opportunities, could comprehend most of the primordial origin, and upon awakening, they took not only the seed but also a sense of confusion. Throughout history, whether anyone has ever fully carried away the entire primordial origin, Wang Lin did not know. At this moment, he was immersed in that strange state, where it felt as though he had forgotten everything. His right eye was blurry, but with his left eye, he saw the unique changes of the primordial origin in its perfect form. Time seemed to have slipped away from Wang Lin's awareness. When he was forcefully awakened by the power of the Donglin pool within him, a blinding light flashed in his left eye for a moment before it disappeared. It's still not enough. Wang Lin's eyes gleamed with determination as he closed them again for the 5th time, seeking insight within the Donglin pool. This time, immersed within, Wang Lin used the art of deception to avoid the examination of the pool's aura. In an instant, his left eye saw an endless radiance, seemingly right in front of him. The primordial origin was born from the void. Long ago, when there were no immortals, the ancient people worshipped the sun, trying to obtain its warmth and light through devout reverence. Thus, the primordial force emerged. This force is quite mysterious. It is the first power the ancients used to worship the Son of Heaven, the first manifestation of the morning sun. Over time, the primordial force transformed. As years passed and strange individuals appeared, the rules governing the movement of heaven and earth gave rise to the primordial rules. The primordial rules made the Son of Heaven rise and set, but Du, upon observing it, realized that the rising and setting of the sun was actually caused by the motion of the heart. The heart stirred, the earth moved, the heavens shifted, and even the unmoving Son of Heaven began to waver. Through repeated contemplation, Du understood the origin of the primordial origin in this world, the starting point of all light and heat. Wang Lin was lost in the voice, clearly feeling how the light his left eye saw enveloped him entirely. As if within the light, he witnessed the endless transformation of the morning sun billions of times. In this endless cycle of the morning sun, Wang Lin felt a grand righteous energy. This energy was the essence of the morning sun, a force that stood firm, upright, and unyielding. Anyone immersed in the dawn of the morning sun for so long must have a character that reflects this, bearing responsibility, if not standing like a mountain, at least being true to their own heart. After a long time, Wang Lin opened his eyes after his 5th immersion. The moment his left eye opened, brilliant light flashed for several breaths before gradually fading. Lu Jingbiao, standing nearby, was startled at the sight of the light in Wang Lin's left eye. His heart trembled, and he dared not look directly. Even the golden venerable sea dragon avoided it, constantly retreating from the intensity of that gaze. In the pupil of Wang Lin's left eye, under the light, a sun-like silhouette began to slowly form. But as the light faded, it gradually lost its shape. The primordial force, I'm not unfamiliar with it. Back in the cave abode realm, I created the Twilight Divine Ability, which is a manifestation of the primordial force. Later, as I gained more insights, I gradually discovered the primordial rules, and even brought this twilight art into existence on the immortal firmament continent, establishing it as a belief. But I never expected that the primordial origin could give birth to its own origin. This so-called origin is actually an understanding and insight into something to such a profound degree that you can see through all its changes and even summon it with a wave of your hand. Wang Lin muttered to himself, sinking into the Donglin pool for the 6th time. As time passed, Wang Lin immersed himself again and again, with each immersion extending his time in that strange state. By the next day, just before dawn, in the darkness of the world, Wang Lin opened his eyes once again. The moment he did, An overwhelming light erupted from his left eye, and within his pupil, a sun appeared. The sky was still dark, and the morning sun had not yet risen. It would take about an incense stick's time before it would emerge from the far-off horizon. However, as Wang Lin opened his eyes and the blinding light surged from his left eye, it seemed as though Wang Lin had replaced the morning sun, bringing daylight half an hour earlier to dispel the darkness of the world. Once one comprehends the primordial origin, they can command the rise of the morning sun itself. Their body can transform into that very sun, reversing night and day. My twilight divine art, no matter how I used it before, was nothing more than a divine ability. But now, with this realization of the primordial origin, I can shift illusion into reality. I can take the place of the morning sun yet to appear and command the primordial rules. Wang Lin murmured. The light in his left eye grew ever more intense, spreading across his entire body until, from a distance, he looked like a blazing sun. Lu Jinbiao and the golden venerable sea dragon had already retreated, not daring to come near. Slowly, Wang Lin's radiance swallowed his shadow, and he became the morning sun itself. His body drifted up from Donglin Pool, rising toward the sky. As he ascended, the layers of darkness in the heavens peeled away, retreating as if forced back. The pitch-black earth beneath him seemed to melt under the light of his sun, vast swathes of shadow scattering to reveal the land bathed in sunlight. When the sunlight born of Wang Lin swept across East Hall, drowning the grand palace once shrouded in night, the ancestor of the Donglin sect within opened his eyes from meditation. He stared at the brilliance outside and fell silent. Even I cannot tell, is this power that scatters night truly the morning sun, or just the transformation of a divine art? He has grasped it. As Wang Lin rose higher, at the instant his form reached the heights of heaven and earth, the entire world blazed with light. Darkness was gone without a trace. This brilliance lasted for the span of a single incense stick before, far on the horizon, the true morning sun finally began to rise. In that moment, two suns burned side by side in the heavens. Wang Lin turned, gazing at the real sun climbing steadily into the sky. His eyes shone with a sharp brilliance before he slowly closed them. So this is the primordial origin. I understand. The light around his body faded as his eyes shut. He remained suspended in the sky, unmoving for an entire day. Only when the evening sun sank and night devoured the heavens once more did Wang Lin's body slowly descend. He crossed his legs and sat once again within the waters of Donglin Pool. If the primordial origin governs sunrise, then there must be another origin that governs sunset. His eyes flickered as he sank deeper into thought. This time, within the pool, Wang Lin's left eye was filled with light, but his right eye remained blurred, unable to see clearly. If the left eye beholds the brightness of dawn, then the right eye must surely see the darkness of dusk. Soon he awoke from meditation, but he did not give up. Again and again, he attempted. At last, when night deepened and all creation sank into silence, Wang Lin once more closed his eyes in Donglin Pool. His right eye no longer saw blur, but pure, impenetrable blackness. That darkness stood in stark contrast to the light of his left eye. Within this contrast, his spirit felt divided, one half belonging to the light of sunrise, the other to the darkness that followed sunset. Du once walked between returning void, watching the endless nights after sunset. With realization of the primordial, it became extinction. This extinction origin embodies all darkness. That deep, resonant voice echoed within Wang Lin's mind once more, lingering without end. Time passed. Wang Lin remained within Donglin Pool of the Donglin sect for 3 months. Each day at dawn he transformed into the sun of heaven, rising to scatter the darkness. At dusk, he silently watched as the night consumed the light. 3 months of watching 100 sunsets, paired with countless insights within the strange waters of Donglin Pool, gradually gave him deeper understanding of the extinction origin. Yet compared to the primordial force, the extinction origin proved far more elusive. In those 3 months, thanks to his long familiarity with the primordial force, Wang Lin had already begun to master the primordial origin, his comprehension growing ever deeper. The extinction origin, however, still remained within the realm of exploration and insight. Wang Lin did not rush to leave. Instead, he chose to reside there, observing the cycles of day and night, sometimes immersing himself in Donglin pool to meditate. Thus, the years slipped by, 8 in the blink of an eye. During those 8 years, no new guests came to Donglin's sect. The sect's ancestor never disturbed him, leaving Wang Lin to live in peace. Surprisingly, in that time, Lu Jinbiao and the golden venerable sea dragon grew close, their bond so strong that Lu Jinbiao could ride upon its back as it soared freely across the heavens and earth. 8 years later, another 5 years passed. As for the Extinction origin, after over 4,000 observations of the night-devouring light over these 13 years, coupled with insights gained from the Donglin pool, gradually, though it hasn't been fully mastered, some understanding has taken shape. Throughout these 13 years, the deep voice that had once echoed during his time at the Donglin pool never resurfaced. Wang Lin sat cross-legged on the altar platform outside the Donglin pool. His long hair hung down, reaching his waist. Over the course of these 13 years, his cultivation had remained the same, but for some unknown reason, his hair had grown longer during his observations of the rising and setting sun. After a long while, he opened his eyes. In his left eye was the image of a rising sun, while his right eye was pure black. These two strange phenomena gave Wang Lin an eerie feeling. The primordial origin can fuse with the thunder avatar, along with slaughter and seal, forming the fourth origin, including the thunder avatar. As for this extinction, I still haven't fully comprehended it, only having made minor progress, but it doesn't prevent me from fusing it. Perhaps, through the power of fusion, it will allow my cultivation to break through as the 5 origins, including the thunder avatar, converge, Wang Lin said calmly. The reason he had come to the Donglin sect was to seek an opportunity for a breakthrough in his cultivation. Once this opportunity emerged, if his cultivation broke through, he could challenge the heavenly venerable Nirvana grounds and complete his preparations before heading to the immortal clan Imperial City. As Wang Lin sat cross-legged, overlapping shadows began to form around him. He saw arcs of lightning dancing as his thunder avatar flashed out, sitting opposite his main body. The thunder avatar's face was cold and expressionless, with lightning constantly flashing across its body, creating crisp crackling sounds in the silence. A sense of destruction surged in Wang Lin's heart as he gazed at his thunder avatar. There is a killing thunder within this thunder avatar, creating an indescribable destruction. This power is unfamiliar to me. Wang Lin observed his thunder avatar, which now, like him, wore white robes. After a moment of silence, Wang Lin raised his right hand and gestured toward the thunder avatar. Since you contain slaughter, and the thunder is filled with destruction, then were the black robes from my earlier years, transforming into darkness. This way, it will be easier to comprehend the extinction origin. As his hand waved, the white robes of the thunder avatar were completely consumed by darkness, turning black. The black-robed thunder avatar, upon the instant its clothes turned black, seemed to exude an even stronger sense of destruction. Quietly watching his thunder avatar, Wang Lin's left eye contained the silhouette of the rising sun. Without any light escaping, it slowly emerged, floating between him and the thunder avatar. After a brief pause, it shot toward the thunder avatar and merged with it in an instant. The thunder avatar's body trembled as piercing light erupted from within, seeming to reject the destructive force within as it merged with the thunder avatar's destruction. Wang Lin observed for a moment, but didn't interfere. His right eye instantly turned black as ink, spreading across his hand, forming the shape of a sun. However, this sun was dark, a black sun. With a wave of his hand, this black sun of heaven shot toward the thunder avatar, fusing once again. But just as the black sun of heaven merged with the thunder avatar, Wang Lin's divine sense immediately spread out, descending with a powerful aura pressure to forcibly fuse all the origins within the thunder avatar, according to his will. Though the black sun of heaven contained little origin, it was perhaps because of this, coupled with its inherent destructive nature, that once it merged into the thunder avatar, it was immediately absorbed by the killing thunder. After this fusion, the killing thunder underwent a change. The killing thunder, which had originally been a force of destruction, tearing apart the light and transforming everything into nothingness. After fusing with the Extinction origin, released an aura capable of annihilating the heavens and earth. This aura spread out from within the Thunder Avatar, and even Wang Lin's will began to feel a sense of suppression. The slaughter of all beings, the destruction of a world, tearing apart the light, causing the night to envelop, and transforming everything into an empty wasteland. This was the power contained within the Thunder Avatar that Wang Lin had unintentionally created. However, this power, due to the existence of the seal origin, was forcibly sealed within the Thunder Avatar's body. It was like a prison, preventing it from escaping. If this power were to be unleashed, it would cause a terrifying catastrophe. Previously, the Thunder Avatar had barely maintained balance, with the seal origin tightly locking its body. But now, the balance, which had already formed cracks, was shattered by the merging of the Extinction origin. Wang Lin had foreseen all of this. As the seal origin could no longer restrain the killing destruction, the moment the balance collapsed, the Primordial origin, representing light, immediately fused with the seal origin, forming a new seal. With that, the killing destruction was once again balanced. Under the constant cycle of sealing and resistance, Wang Lin's Thunder Avatar was like a flame on the verge of igniting at any moment, a fire that could either be mastered or consume its wielder. It was no different from a mortal holding fire in his hands, either gain complete control or be burned alive. Destruction and sealing, darkness and light, all drawn together by thunder. For a fleeting instant, balance was forced upon this true form. Yet the fusion of the seal origin and the primordial origin was still insufficient to contend against slaughter and extinction. The crisis had not passed, but Wang Lin had no choice. From the very moment the slaughter thunder of this origin true form was inadvertently created, its uniqueness was sealed in fate, different from the five elements in every way. When the four special origins within the Thunder Avatar fused and clashed, barely holding together, the Avatar suddenly opened its eyes. The left eye shone with light, the right was cloaked in darkness. It stepped toward Wang Lin, becoming translucent, and overlapped with his body. The instant it sat cross-legged, it merged into Wang Lin's very being. In that moment, his cultivation erupted upward. From the early void tribulation stage, it surged higher and higher. Heaven and earth trembled. The skies over the Donglin sect twisted between day and night, light and darkness swapping in rapid succession. As muffled thunder rolled within his body, Wang Lin's white hair lifted into the air, his robes whipped about as if by storm winds, and his cultivation burst past the early void tribulation stage, ascending directly into the mid-void tribulation stage as a great venerable. Wang Lin rose to his feet. Instantly, the heavens stilled, the earth fell silent, winds ceased, and all things froze into quietude. After standing there for a long time, his figure flickered. From the distance, golden venerable sea dragon, awed and reverent, soared toward him. Wang Lin stepped lightly onto its massive head. Lu Jinbiao swallowed hard, his eyes filled with the same reverence. Such awe was natural in the cave abode realm, and it was unchanged here on the immortal firmament continent. He hurriedly took flight, alighting upon the sea dragon's back, standing respectfully behind Wang Lin. Over the past 13 years, as his memories awakened, and with the favor he curried from golden venerable sea dragon, much of his cultivation had already been restored. The sea dragon rose into the sky. Wang Lin, standing upon its head, gazed down at the Donglin sect and the Donglin pool. After a long silence, he clasped his fists and bowed deeply toward the pool. Though the senior has passed away, the enlightenment he left behind, Wang Lin shall never forget. His eyes drifted toward the East Hall, where, in his mind, he seemed to glimpse the lonely, sorrowful old man within. With a soft sigh, and under the sweep of Wang Lin's divine sense, the massive sea dragon blurred into a rainbow streak, vanishing into the distance. Far behind, deep within the mountains where the fallen Donglin sect lay buried, a faint sigh echoed. It carried endless years of solitude and sorrow, yet also unyielding persistence. From solitude, dreams had shaped illusions, companions born of memory. From sorrow, time had bound him to this dead sect, counting memories in silence, guarding them still. From persistence, even across millennia, the hatred and madness buried in grief had become his blood ink, tracing again and again the words carved into the stone steel. Wang Lin departed, but he did not leave the sacred continent. Instead, atop a lofty peak, he sat cross-legged, guarded by golden venerable sea dragon, arrays and restrictions laid down for protection. Facing the rising morning sun in the distant heavens, he closed his eyes. I will challenge the heavenly venerable ascension grounds. Back then, I broke through the 4th level. This time, how many levels will I conquer? Sitting in meditation, Wang Lin steadied the raging waves of power within him. After 3 months, when he had fully adapted, his right hand rose. With a single sweep before him, countless divine arts condensed at his fingertips. In the early void tribulation stage, limited by cultivation, I could merge no more than 13 divine arts into my body. Now, at the mid-void tribulation stage, how many can I fuse? And with the true form and origins stacked together, a gleam of anticipation flashed through his eyes. Drawing a deep breath, Wang Lin closed his eyes again. His divine sense surged to his heavenly spirit, transforming into an invisible form that shot into the skies. This time, I will shake the heavens. This time, I will make every heavenly supreme across the immortal clan continent raise their eyes to me. This time, I will claim a place among the transcendent heavenly venerables. I will become the 49th transcendent heavenly venerable of the immortal clan continent. And this time, I will unleash the power of the heavenly ox soul armor. His divine sense pierced through the celestial canopy, a pillar unseen by others, climbing endlessly into the 9 heavens. With a resounding boom in his mind, clarity returned, and before his eyes appeared once more the strange heavenly venerable Nirvana grounds he had visited years ago. There he saw them, floating halls rising layer upon layer into the sky. And before the first layer hall, hundreds of heavenly supremes sat cross-legged in meditation. At the same time, those heavenly supremes saw it too, Wang Lin, streaking forth like a rainbow from an ancient, mysterious teleportation array. The white-haired heavenly supreme. I remember him. Back then, he broke through the first 4 layers in rapid succession. I thought he would challenge the 5th, but he suddenly left. Most likely he knew he couldn't pass, so he retreated. This time, perhaps he's gained enough confidence to challenge the 5th layer. It's him. Outside the first layer hall stood a middle-aged man in black. He was reclusive by nature, keeping to a spot where no one else lingered. When Wang Lin arrived, he was the first to notice. His name was Bamboo Grove. In years past, he had broken through the 7th layer, but failed at the 8th. The principles behind this place's structure remained elusive. Few had ever unraveled them fully. What was known was that the immortal progenitor, imitating the primordial divine realm, had created it so that the descendants of the immortal clan could adapt early. In this way, more grand heavenly venerables might emerge. Across countless years, innumerable heavenly venerable cultivators had come to the heavenly venerable Nirvana grounds. Each would attempt the palace halls, one layer after another, testing their cultivation and seeking to make a name for themselves upon the immortal clan lands. This place, the heavenly venerable ascension, was one the 5 grand heavenly venerables valued greatly. Nearly 90% of those they recruited had once challenged these halls. Now, under the gathered gazes of hundreds of cultivators outside the first layer hall, a rainbow streak whistled across the sky. In an instant, it descended, dissolving to reveal Wang Lin's figure landing upon the ground. The moment his foot touched the earth outside the first layer hall, countless heavenly venerable cultivators turned their eyes toward him. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. His gaze swept the crowd. He recognized some faces, though most were strangers. After all, in all these years, people had come and gone from the Nirvana grounds, some leaving, others returning to challenge again. Those who knew him clasped their fists with faint smiles, and Wang Lin returned the courtesy with a smile of his own. Among heavenly venerable cultivators, unless hostility already existed, most enjoyed forging ties, except for the few solitary types. Though Wang Lin had vanished from the public eye for more than 10 years, the stir he caused back then by passing 4 layers in succession was enough to leave an impression. Some were glad to greet him. Still, to many, breaking through 4 layers was not impressive enough. They regarded him with cool indifference. I heard of this white-haired heavenly venerable, one said. They say his first attempt at the first layer hall ended in failure. Yet after that he stormed through 4 layers in a row. He's not ordinary. 4 layers? What of it? Another sneered. Which among us here cannot pass the 4th layer? It was only because he failed once, then cleared 4 in succession, that people made a fuss. Indeed, this white-haired heavenly venerable, at best, he won't go beyond the 5th layer this time. Around him, cultivators studied Donglin. Some conversed with him via divine sense, friendly or curious. Others dismissed him outright. Opinions varied, but none at their level would reveal too much emotion, never enough to let others read them too easily. In the distance, Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable sat silently, his gaze fixed on Donglin. After a moment, he closed his eyes again. He would not belittle any heavenly venerable cultivator, yet neither did he believe Donglin could match his own feat of clearing the 7th layer. Below the 7th, his interest was limited. Donglin did not immediately challenge the hall. Instead, he stood before the 1st layer hall and looked upward. Towering halls rose higher and higher. Beyond the 9th layer, they were shrouded in mist. Over the years, Donglin had learned much of the Nirvana grounds. 19 layers in all. On the Immortal clan lands today, fewer than 60 had ever broken through the 9th. Each of them stood at the very peak of the heavenly venerable realm. A single step further, clearing the 10th layer, would make one a transcendent heavenly venerable. Whenever someone reached this level, the Immortal clan would erupt in commotion. To witness the rise of a transcendent heavenly venerable was a rare fortune for any cultivator. It might even draw the attention of a grand heavenly venerable, who would project their divine sense to personally witness the event. Yet there were only 48 transcendent heavenly venerables on the Immortal clan continent. For many years, not a single 49th had appeared. Such was the difficulty of the 10th layer. Only transcendent heavenly venerables could attempt the halls beyond the 10th. To reach the 19th was said to carry the chance of ascending to grand heavenly venerable. And those who cleared that final hall would gain strength so fearsome even grand heavenly venerables would hesitate to act against them. But no one had reached the 19th. Even among transcendent heavenly venerables, the farthest was the Nether Dao Venerable, who stopped at the 16th layer. None had surpassed him. For tens of thousands of years, no one had broken his record. On the Immortal clan lands, the Nether Dao Venerable was regarded as the one most likely to become a grand heavenly venerable. Some even claimed he was the 6th son of the Immortal clan. Though not yet as renowned as a grand heavenly venerable, his fame stood unmatched beneath them. He was especially favored by the grand heavenly venerable Immortal Emperor Baji, who paid a great price to recruit him. And unlike other heavenly venerables, or even transcendent heavenly venerables, he was treated with extraordinary honor. This journey to the Immortal clan Imperial City, I may well encounter the famed Nether Dao Venerable. He is hailed as the first among Leap Heavenly Venerables, an extraordinary figure indeed. A faint glimmer flickered in Donglin's eyes. This time, I will make a name for myself. First, let's see, without donning the soul armor, how far can I climb on my own strength? His expression remained calm as he closed his eyes. A moment later, they snapped open, blazing with brilliance. His body swayed, then shot forth like a long rainbow, soaring from outside the 1st layer hall straight into the skies. As his figure streaked upward, many heavenly venerable cultivators glanced at him, though most soon withdrew their gaze, resuming meditation without much concern. Even the Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable remained seated with eyes shut, unmoved. In the Heavenly Venerable Nirvana grounds, once one had passed a layer, they could bypass it on return without being hindered by the aura pressure within each hall. Donglin's body ascended at great speed. He skipped past the first 4 layers and appeared before the 5th layer hall in the sky. Without hesitation, he stepped inside. The instant he entered the 5th layer, his vision blurred. The familiar sensation of the earlier layers washed over him. When his sight cleared, he once again stood in a void of endless stars. The 4th layer back then was formed from 36 cultivation stars, with a golden star among them. Each golden star held power surpassing all ordinary cultivation stars of its level combined. I wonder, how many golden stars will there be here in the 5th layer? Donglin's gaze sharpened as he looked forward. In that moment, 45 cultivation stars suddenly shifted course, their trajectories altered. From every direction they hurtled toward him, roaring with ear-splitting force. Among them, 5 burst forth with dazzling golden radiance, transforming into golden stars. Their oppressive might shook the void itself as they charged alongside the others straight for Wang Lin. 5 of them, Wang Lin murmured calmly. As the stars thundered toward him, his right hand abruptly lifted. At that instant, his void cataclysm cultivation exploded forth. 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, 13. His fist clenched with a resounding boom. 13 divine arts gathered into that single punch. Though his aura remained at the early void tribulation stage, it was still climbing higher. Since advancing to the mid-void tribulation stage, I haven't fully unleashed my strength. Let's see how many divine arts I can fuse into one strike now. His long white hair billowed, robes snapping as if swept by a storm. His cultivation surged. Early stage broke instantly into his peak, the mid-void tribulation stage. 14th divine art. A new surge fused into his fist. Then the 15th, 16th, and 17th followed in rapid succession, without pause. In the blink of an eye, 21 divine arts had gathered. By my estimation, with each advancement in void cataclysm, I can merge 9 more divine arts into my body. At early stage, my limit was 9. Now at mid-stage, it should be 18. But due to earlier refinement of metal origin and wood origin, my cultivation advanced slightly further, allowing me to force 4 extra, 22 in total. His eyes gleamed as the 40 stars rushed closer, closing in fast. 22nd divine art. His right fist thundered with deafening roars as the 22nd strike fully condensed. A cataclysmic force swelled from his fist, as though one blow could shatter the void itself. It should still be possible. 23rd. Wang Lin growled low, not striking immediately. Instead, his body shot upward. His right arm bulged with surging veins, vast power coursing within like torrents replacing blood, funneling into his fist until it roared aloud. His hair whipped about, eyes blazing. In that instant, the 23rd divine art took form within his fist. 23 divine arts. This is my limit for now. The extra one is thanks to the many insights I gained in Donglin Pool, which deepened my origins just enough. Looking down, he saw the 40 cultivation stars streaking toward him, the 5 golden stars among them radiating overwhelming pressure. They were now less than a few hundred zhong away. For this 5th layer, just one true form will suffice. His figure split, and the 5 elements avatar emerged beside him. At that very instant, Wang Lin clenched his fist and hurled it downward at the onrushing stars with earth-shaking force. 23 divine arts fused into a single punch, and with the clone's power layered on top, it was equivalent to 46 divine arts, all hurtling straight toward those 40 cultivation stars. With a deafening roar, the void collapsed. Blinding golden light erupted, tearing through the starry sky, shattering the emptiness, and spreading rapidly from the 5th layer hall within the heavenly venerable Nirvana grounds, engulfing the entire realm. Hundreds of heavenly venerables stationed below looked up to witness it. Some, however, didn't even bother to raise their heads. They remained deep in meditation, eyes shut tight, as if this blinding light from one who had conquered the 5th layer held no interest for them at all. In the distance, the bamboo grove heavenly venerable also kept his eyes closed, immersed in his own inner world, calculating how to overcome the 8th layer. His cultivation should have been enough to pass it, yet he had stalled there. This white-haired heavenly venerable took quite some time inside the 5th layer before that golden light appeared. Far slower than the speed he showed years ago when he stormed through the first 4 layers. It seems this 5th layer cost him some real effort. His time was fast enough, but about average compared to others attempting the 5th layer. Nothing worth getting excited over. Will he leave as he did back then? Or will he attempt the 6th layer? I doubt he can get through it. The heavenly venerables watching fell into private contemplation. Some were even disappointed. After all, the only reason they cared about Wang Lin was because they had heard, or personally witnessed, how he once blitzed through the first 4 layers with unmatched speed. If not for that reputation, conquering the mere 5th layer, though still impressive, wouldn't draw much attention at all. Amid the lingering golden light of the 5th layer hall, Wang Lin shot forth. His expression was calm. He didn't even glance downward, but instead raised his eyes toward the sixth layer. His gaze flickered once, and without the slightest hesitation, he soared straight for it. Those below saw this and immediately grew alert. He's really going for the sixth layer? I myself failed there. He struggled with the fifth, took even longer than I did. If I couldn't get through, then he's bound to fail too. The white-haired heavenly venerable isn't leaving? Now this sixth layer, this could get interesting. If he passes it, he might be worth befriending. But almost no one believed Wang Lin could succeed. His time on the fifth layer had been far too ordinary, nothing like the legend of his past. Even some of the heavenly venerables who hadn't bothered to open their eyes before now stirred, glancing toward the sixth layer. In the distance, the bamboo grove heavenly venerable also opened his eyes briefly, sweeping a calm look over the sixth layer before preparing to close them again, when suddenly, a blinding streak of golden light exploded within his pupils. The instant that light appeared, his expression hardened. And he wasn't the only one. Every heavenly venerable outside the first layer hall who looked upward now had golden light blazing in their eyes. Not their own power, but the reflection of the radiance pouring down from the sixth layer hall above. Before their eyes, the sixth layer hall erupted in a resplendent golden brilliance less than 7 breaths after Wang Lin entered, merging seamlessly with the fifth layer's golden light, reviving the glory of the past. This, someone below shot to their feet, eyes wide with shock. He actually broke through the sixth layer, and in only 7 breaths. More than a decade ago, he stormed through the first 4 layers in one go. Now, after all these years, he conquers the fifth and sixth back-to-back. His cultivation is far from ordinary. To clear the sixth layer means he can fuse at least 50 divine arts within his body. Across the entire immortal clan, fewer than 400 heavenly venerables can claim that level of mastery. Below, faces grew solemn as countless heavenly venerables turned their gaze skyward. Even those who had kept their eyes shut in indifference before now stared at the sixth layer's golden light, watching the figure that emerged from within. Passing the sixth layer marked one as a true powerhouse among heavenly venerables. The bamboo grove heavenly venerable fixed his stare on Wang Lin, his expression grim. This man reminded him of that figure from long ago, the one he had once dismissed, only to watch him storm through 4 layers in a row and seize everyone's attention. The 7th layer. He's heading for the 7th. He's going for the 7th layer? Fewer than 200 in the entire immortal clan have ever passed it. Even if he cleared the 6th so easily, the 7th is no simple feat. Maybe, he really can make it through. The heavenly venerables below, one by one, were filled with excitement. Under their gazes, Wang Lin's figure, which had been enveloped in the golden light of the 6th layer, did not sink down. Instead, it shot straight upwards, heading for the 7th layer, roaring as it went. At this moment, his figure was the focus of nearly every gaze below. Among them, some were filled with anticipation, some with doubt, and some even with disdain. Clearly, they believed that while Wang Lin might have the strength to pass the 6th layer, it would be impossible for him to get through the 7th. Even the bamboo grove heavenly venerable stopped meditating and stared intently at Wang Lin's figure disappearing into the 7th layer's hall. His expression was extremely serious. After all, if Wang Lin could pass the 7th layer, it would mean that he was on the same level as the bamboo grove heavenly venerable. A cultivator like that, who had personally witnessed the passing of the heavenly venerable Nirvana twice, could he not care? As Wang Lin entered the 7th layer's palace, a dead silence fell among the surrounding cultivators. Almost everyone looked up, staring intently. 1 breath, 2 breaths, 3 breaths, 4 breaths, 5 breaths. Just as the 5th breath was about to pass, several heavenly venerables suddenly exclaimed in astonishment, their disbelief evident. Above, the 7th layer's palace suddenly erupted in an astonishing golden light during the 5th breath. This golden light fused with the glows from the 6th and 5th layers, creating a seamless whole. It completely illuminated the heavenly venerable Nirvana, shining like the sun. Especially striking was the figure emerging from the golden light of the 7th layer. Under the radiance, his white hair turned to gold, radiating an imposing aura that made the heavenly venerables below pause in their breaths. He passed the 7th layer. 5 breaths time. And he was even faster than in the 6th layer. What kind of combat power must he possess to pass the 7th layer? This person will definitely make a name for himself on the Immortal Clan continent soon. 5 breaths to pass the 7th layer. I've never heard of such speed. Below, hundreds of cultivators were shaken. The disdain had vanished, replaced by respect as they gazed up at the figure within the golden light. Some who had been stuck at the 4th or 5th layers looked at Wang Lin with complex emotions in their eyes. Among the heavenly venerables, there was a huge disparity in strength. For those who could pass the 7th layer, even if they were also heavenly venerables, they deserved respect. For instance, the Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable, though solitary and proud, would have all eyes on him if he attempted the Heavenly Venerable Nirvana. The 7th layer. The Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable was silent. He hadn't expected the other party to possess such strength. Will he go on to challenge the 8th layer? The 8th layer is extremely difficult. In the sky, Wang Lin stood in the golden light of the 7th layer, his expression calm. For this layer, he had used both his Thunder and 5 Elements avatars, unleashing all the power of his 2 true bodies. Only with overwhelming strength was he able to pass the 7th layer. This heavenly venerable Nirvana, the higher it goes, the harder it becomes. I wonder how the 8th layer will be. Wang Lin looked up at the 8th layer, his body flashing as he turned into a streak of light, heading straight for the 8th layer. Focused entirely on passing the heavenly venerable Nirvana, he didn't notice the storm his actions were causing among the hundreds of heavenly venerables below. The 8th layer. He's going to challenge the 8th layer. What an arrogant person. The Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable failed at the 8th layer. This person, sigh, who knows? Those who can pass the 8th layer are fewer than 150 in the Immortal Clan continent. These numbers have only accumulated over many years. This layer is said to be extremely difficult. Once someone passes, the great heavenly venerables will immediately know about it. At this moment, almost all the cultivators stood up, feeling the gravity of what had happened. The fact that someone was attempting to pass the 5th, 6th, 7th, and now the 8th layer was enough to stir their attention. The Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable suddenly stood up, no longer sitting cross-legged. His eyes were fixed on the 8th layer's palace in the sky. He had attempted the 8th layer multiple times, but had always failed. Now, witnessing someone attempt it in front of him, his eyes shone with brilliance. He even blinked and shot into the air, looking up. The 8th layer? Can he make it through? These people had originally thought that time would drag on in this wait, but 3 breaths later, a golden light suddenly erupted from the 8th layer's palace, leaving everyone dumbfounded. The golden light of the 8th layer had not appeared for many years in the heavenly venerable Nirvana grounds. But now, as it fused with the light below, it enveloped the entire Nirvana grounds, bathing everyone in endless golden radiance. He passed the 8th layer. The Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable's face turned pale, his eyes filled with shock and complexity. He had failed in the 8th layer numerous times, but now he was witnessing someone pass it effortlessly in 3 breaths. The hundreds of heavenly venerables below, now enveloped in golden light, had completely lost their ability to think. They watched the figure of Wang Lin in the sky in complete silence. What is your name? The Bamboo Grove Heavenly Venerable suddenly lifted his head, his voice rolling out like thunder. That mighty sound startled the hundreds of heavenly venerables nearby. A few among them knew Wang Lin's name, but most only knew him as the white-haired heavenly venerable. Wang Lin. Within the golden light of the 8th hall, Wang Lin glanced downward and spoke calmly. As his words faded, his gaze snapped upward toward the 9th hall of celestial venerable Nirvana, shrouded in clouds and mist. To pass through the 9th layer was to reach the peak celestial venerable. To pass through the 9th layer was to shake the Immortal Clan continent with one's name. To pass through the 9th layer was to draw infinitely close to becoming a transcendent, heavenly venerable. Wang Lin had walked the Immortal Clan lands for centuries to reach this point. His heart was not stirred by excitement, but remained still, like an ancient well untouched by wind. Under the watchful eyes of all the heavenly venerables below, Wang Lin drew in a deep breath and stepped toward the 9th hall, which had lain dormant for tens of thousands of years without releasing its golden light.